Rusty Esparmount from Video Game Heaven.
Y'all ain't ready for this. I don't even know if I'm ready for this.
Oh my god, what happened to your head, dude?
Just wanted to give a shout out to everybody at Filmtastic Nerdum.
The Brotastics, you guys should be doing restaurant review.
Diana. Fighting does not make you a hero.
What's up, everybody? This is
Keithtastic.
And I'm Joe-tastic.
And we're with Brotastic Nerdum.
Absolutely. And we're coming to you today with a review on the new movie that came out a few weeks ago. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. You probably shouldn't see this if you haven't seen it, because
tons of spoilers everywhere.
Because we seen it. And
we seen it.
We seen it.
We seen it.
And would you what? Just one word. Give us a word.
Wonderful.
And woman.
Mm-hmm.
And and there was a whole lot of women. I'll tell you.
So
oh
much.
My gosh. You know what was your one of your favorite what was your overall? What did you think of the movie?
Okay, so overall, especially being a DC movie and this being their hopefully comeback film into way better DC movies coming up in the future, this is the best DC movie I've seen besides the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
And even then, only the second one to me is the standalone phenomenal Batman movie that you really need, minus the old school stuff.
Yeah, the old school stuff. It's kind of. But as far as new stuff with new CGI, this is definitely the best one. It makes me excited for Justice League for one.
Exactly.
The way they did this movie, without compare, it's better than Batman vs Superman. If you guys were disappointed in that, you will not be disappointed in this.
It does no wrong.
It does no wrong. There was a lot of little things that they added to it, where it's I think one of my favorite parts was the way they portrayed Wonder Woman, or Diana, as you could say.
Yep.
She was not only super sweet and innocent, and you're oh my gosh, will you marry me? But then she was super fierce and courageous and awesome, and then you're still oh, will you marry me?
And it was both sides. Lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets.
And a freak in the sheets. And yeah, she could have got down with Chris Pines in that movie.
She read those books, right? She did.
She knew more about it than he did.
She said she didn't need a man, but whatever.
I'm so depressed on that.
Yeah. Just overall, Gal Gadot's performance, everyone doubted her, being Wonder Woman. When she first got casted, there's so much fan backlash. She's not our Wonder Woman. She doesn't fit the role. Yeah, she's mine too. She doesn't fit the role body-wise. She hasn't been in anything good. I'm sorry, Fast and the Furious is good for guys, at least. I loved her in Fast and the Furious.
And one thing I actually read today is that she wasn't paid very much to do these movies. There's incentive bonuses, but just straight up she wasn't paid. And I think what she did, I don't know. I think she did fantastic.
That was debunked.
It was?
Yeah,
oh,
that's true.
Well, that's all right. Well, here we are.
We can cut that part.
We can always cut that part. Cut.
Yeah, that did get debunked. She got paid the same thing that Henry Cavill got paid for Superman: Man of Steel in the beginning.
Well, that's good. So, I'm glad I heard that.
Yeah.
I don't feel so upset. I was fuming.
A lot of people it was a click. It was one of those clickbait articles that a couple of sites released just so that people could
watch out for fake news.
Boom, guys. But yeah, Gal Gadot's performance was amazing. Chris Pine's performance as Steve Trevor was amazing.
It was.
I don't, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to spoil the movie. He dies at the end in a plane crash. And is he going to pull a Bucky Barnes and come back later? We don't know. We'll see what happens in the sequel. But
he did get laid.
He did. He definitely
got laid.
You died on a high note, brother. You died on a high note. If it was anyone, it had to be Wonder Woman.
Even the one part where she was walking down the streets and she got the ice cream cone.
Yeah.
That was such a sweet part. She's oh, you should be so proud. I was
can we talk about the sword and the dress?
Oh my gosh. I mean, we all saw the photos of how did she keep that thing in there?
There was that running meme, and obviously they did the scientific breakdown where it was it didn't go down that long lengthwise, but even so, even if it did, I believe her cheeks would be able to handle that sword.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If they're handling everything else in that movie.
Yeah.
I don't think I could handle it's the problem.
Just everything origin-wise, from comic book to film adaptation, they introduced the new DC logo at the beginning of the film. This has to be the best origin DC film that's come out in years. Since I'd say the original Superman. And I love Man of Steel, you know, that came out, 4 or 5 years ago, but a lot of people are still kind of iffy with that, especially with the whole killing Zod at the end. Like,
I like the fighting in that. It made me think that's how they could do a Dragon Ball Z movie if they did something.
if they ever.
If they were to ever.
Because we don't mention the other one that
we don't,
exists.
That never happened.
Yeah.
But if it were to happen, that would be the way I would like the fighting to be.
Yeah.
But back to DC.
Yeah. So this is hopefully DC's, like, you know, their comeback. Because Suicide Squad was the last movie they did, and although it did win a couple of awards for their makeup, the movie overall just wasn't the greatest. Like, to me, the best part of that film was the first 10 minutes where you have Batman taking down each person.
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen the cartoon, basically, version of that, that's the one you really want to see.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum. Yeah. Or Arkham Breakout. Forgive me if I'm wrong. You guys know what I'm talking about. One of the best DC animated films. One of the, like... It's a rated R animated film. There's plenty of like sexuality, cussing. It's just it's a badass movie. Like, it just didn't transfer over to the film like it should have, you know. Yeah. But Wonder Woman,
oh man.
So for you, and this is so hard to critique because the movie was so good, and at this point we'd be nitpicking the movie. What didn't you like about Wonder Woman?
I would say the one thing that kind of threw me for a loop was at the very end when Ares, God of War, revealed himself. I was like, "You're Lupin from Harry Potter." Yeah. And he remained Lupin from Harry Potter for quite some time. And then once he put the armor on, then I was like, okay, I can take it a little more serious. But at first, it was like, what? Yeah. So he's like in a suit, and he's like wrecking. I was like,
so Ares for me, just like. And I've talked to a couple of friends about this. M23 Photography, for instance, he's mentioned that his biggest gripe with Ares was the fact that he looked like how he did. He had the mustache and everything, from like full-on god form to like aging throughout the centuries and like coming back with the same mustache. Like, if they could have used maybe a different actor to portray a younger version or a different version of Ares, that would have been awesome. And then you get Ares now. Kind of makes sense. But I thought the Ares armor was awesome. Ares without the armor, you know, like he knocks the helmet off or whatever. Just, it didn't look right, but Ares himself.
Evil.
Yeah, he didn't.
He didn't really look like a god of war.
Exactly. For me, Ares as well, like, you know, figuring out who it was, I kind of caught on to that at the beginning of the film. Like, it was super obvious that was going to be Ares and not the other two villains that they, you know, had in the film. So if you're like a regular moviegoer, you caught that at the beginning. But it was obvious, but it was like painfully obvious that it was going to be Ares, but in a good way, like not in a it's going to ruin the film for you type way, you know? Because even the last battle was amazing.
Yeah, it was. It really was. And I mean, even it was weird, like the part where I guess it was the general of the German army.
Yeah.
And, like that little relationship they were having, I was like, this is kind of funky.
Yeah.
You know.
Dr. Poison.
Yeah, Dr. Poison. Like your face, I'm like, I guess you're into that.
And a lot of people thought that was going to be Ares, was that it was going to be Dr. Poison. And I mean, because then you get your whole female on female battle, but that's not what it's about, you know? It would have been cool, you know, different if they would have portrayed Ares as a female, but at the same time, you're taking away from the comic at that point and what Wonder Woman stands for. Why have Wonder Woman fight another woman when it's Wonder Woman, woman versus man, defining yourself, bringing the characteristics out from what true female power is?
And even that, I thought they portrayed her growing up.
That was my best part.
Yeah. Growing up as, you know, a young woman to becoming who she was, and how she was always just determined to become that woman that she was destined to be. And, you know?
I mean, like, even watching like little Diana like grow up, like I don't want kids anytime soon. But if I did, it would definitely be one like that. Like, she was just on point, smart kid. The actress who played her was amazing. This movie, you just can't really, I can't gripe. And another really, really big highlight is they didn't feature anybody else from the Justice League or anybody else from any other DC film in the movie. It was just Wonder Woman. Like, I like that they nodded that Bruce Wayne had censored that photo at the beginning. Yeah. You don't hear anything else. You don't see him in the film. Like,
you see that Bruce is a big old billionaire. Yeah. Send him, like, I'll send a tank armored car to Paris.
And they'll give you this briefcase.
And it's a briefcase with just a photo.
Yeah, that's it. But like that was amazing. Like, you don't have to bring in anyone else to make the film look good. The film did good all by itself. This is a huge movement for just like female empowered characters. Like,
for everyone that said heroines weren't going to be good in movies.
Exactly. Like, subtract Catwoman or any other shitty movie that came out for DC that we don't talk about. Wonder Woman is like the defining origin story for a female superhero character that every other movie studio needs to take notes on. So we have Captain Marvel coming up as a standalone movie for Marvel. Hopefully they've taken notes and all right, we see what Wonder Woman did. We need to make it just as good. Like the female origin.
They will.
Yeah,
they typically do really well.
They've been shaky lately, but we'll see. Yeah, but this is top tier. This is the mold
Cream
that
of the
everyone
crop.
needs to follow. And even having a female director, all female cast, like this is 100% female empowerment. You know, and I support it completely. Even being with Filmtastic, especially Wonder Woman, especially Gal Gadot.
We support Cistastic too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
that sounds like a disease, but you know, if you have Cistastic, please call this number.
Right here.
Yeah. I don't have anything else. The film was just good.
The film
Go
was
see
really
it.
good. Go see it.
I mean,
if we spoiled it for you, I'm sorry, but
I'm
you
not.
should still. I'm not.
It's been a month. It's been a
1
while.
week since you looked at it.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna list spoilers in the movie, obviously, but if you don't read, reading's fundamental.
I mean, sure, you're gonna be somewhat, already spoiled if you followed comics or the history of Wonder Woman from the cartoons in the '90s Justice League. Like, you kind of know the spiel anyway.
Yeah.
But the intricate parts, we didn't really get into those parts.
We didn't give you the best details out of any part of the movie.
Yeah.
We gave you
we gave you the general gist that made it great.
Yeah.
But we can't just put into words the other parts that we really just loved about the movie.
You need to go see this film.
You should go see the
Just
film.
go see the film. Why are you even watching this anymore? Go watch the film.
Go get a ticket.
But before you go, there's one more thing I'd like to say about this film. And a lot of people compare this film to the first Avenger movie, Captain America, because there's a ton of similarities, obviously.
Yeah.
This was better. Period. Like, I love Captain America too. Winter Soldier is probably the best Captain America movie, best superhero film. Like, it's in my top 5. This Wonder Woman just beat that out, by the way. But like, it's got a lot of like, it's almost the same movie in a sense. A lot of people will say like comparing and contrasting it, but it's way better. Wonder Woman did it better.
Is similar, but yeah, Wonder Woman did do it better.
Yep.
I can't disagree with that. And I'd like to watch it again, honestly, just so I can be reminded of how great it was.
This has me hyped for any other superhero film that's just female featuring, like, or just, that has an origin story, just a female character. Like, I think DC right now is working on Birds of Prey, which should be following Batgirl, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Harley.
I would love to see a Batgirl one.
Yeah. And they're talking about doing a Batgirl
they always have her as like a sidekick, and that I'd be kind of badass to see. Violet Bean as Batgirl.
Oh God.
Yeah, it would. That would be really good, even though she wants to play Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind seeing. Oh, wouldn't that be awesome if Violet Bean played Poison Ivy, and they just had some other. It was like Batgirl versus Poison Ivy. That'd be.
At least Violet Bean's single, so you have a chance at that. Gal Gadot is married, unfortunately, for all of our single friends, and Joey. But yeah, that's all we got.